You guys saw the video that I made replacing this top tube and seat tube, top tube brace. And so what I'm going to be doing now is just cleaning it up. I'm going to remove the rest of the components. I wasn't originally going to do that, but I figured, you know, I'm going to powder coat the top as an experiment, leaving the rest of the paint intact. But you know, the decals or paint for the B.F.D frame are going to get covered by any spray or additional paint. So I think I'm just going to clean that up myself and try something a little different. So the beauty of a single speed, which is what this individual had, is that there isn't a whole lot to take off. After I took off the headset and everything and the seat, pretty much just leaves the crank and the dropouts for the back wheel, and it's pretty quick and dirty. So let's do that. And there you go, that's the dropouts. You know, of course I got the springs I should remove too, but that's pretty much how you do it. I'll do that here in a second. I'm going to have to probably get another tool in order to do that. But a screwdriver, my other tool. Alright, meantime, let's just go ahead and do the crank. The beauty of the pinch bolt cranks is that they usually are easier to take off. You don't need a freaking huge extractor tool. Little crank tension bolt, and now that came off pretty easily. A little rubber mallet. There we go. One crank off. Put this together so that I don't lose anything. Now a quick link. That reminds me, I want to make a new tool for this because this is just a pair of needle nose that I modified by putting a little groove into the handle. And it works, but I'm always afraid I'm going to pinch my fingers. Getting close. And there you go. Homemade just thought maybe I'll show that to you. It's just a needle nose, and I filed some flats on it so that when it goes around the length, that it gives a more of a normal perpendicular pressure to it. It's not perfect, it pops out a lot, but it works. And I don't know, bottom bracket tools. I have one, but I don't know if I have this one. No, that's quite a bit smaller than mine. So I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm going to have to wrap it and use a big tool, big wrench. I don't like doing that because it usually, you know, the teeth on these things, they grab it, and when you bite down on it, you end up kind of putting some teeth mark in there. So I wrap it usually, but that's not 100% either. I usually just use an inner tube tire liner, old tube I should say, that I've cut up for other purposes, and then I grab it, and hopefully it comes loose. Now, I can already hear it making grinding noises. Yeah. So I'm getting ready to, like I said, clean up the frame, and I'm going to powder coat part of it, but I didn't want to powder coat the whole thing because I don't have the ability to strip the paint off, and so I just wanted to do a small section of it along with the top tube, and I got the okay. Otherwise I was going to have to get the frame back and let them do the cleanup, and then I'll do the powder coat. But my wife had a great idea. I don't know why I didn't think of it. It's so obvious, but fresh eyes and everything, right? So she said, why don't you just take the old top tube that you cut off, this guy here, throw it into the powder coat oven at the bake temperature, and see what it does to this paint, and see if I can remove it and or if it damages the existing paint. If it doesn't damage the existing paint, then theoretically I should be able to just wash it, clean it, scrub it down a little bit, and clean off all the other areas, and then powder coat that and throw it into the oven, and then do a final clear coat over the whole thing, and we should be good to go. That's if this powder coat paint survives cooking, an additional cooking. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw this into my powder coat oven, which I have going right now, warming up. I'll have to give a tutorial on this one too, or a video. This is my powder coat oven. I built it from scratch, and you can see my electronics is hanging out because I had a short after a couple of years, and I had to fix it. I got it going again, but I've never put it back into the case because it's a really tight fit, and I really need to just go ahead and create a new electrical box. But yeah, I built the whole thing, and it works great. It gets up to, I've had it up to 500 degrees just as a test, so that was pretty cool. My powder coat cures at 400 or 415 or somewhere around there, so I don't have to take it up that high. But anyway, I'm going to take this and throw it in the oven here as soon as it gets up to speed, up to temp. All right, hang tight, and I'll give you the outcome. Okay, so it's cooled off. I can touch it. It's cold, and what I'm going to do is now just hit it with a sandpaper and see how easy the paint comes up. First, I'm going to just do some light strokes. it scuffs. It scuffs, as you can see. Let's give it some harder pressure and see what happens. Now that was pretty good pressure, and it took paint off. But I was putting pretty good pressure on there. What I'm going to do is do a control now and go grab one of my old frames that got damaged and see what that does. Paper. Same sandpaper and everything. I'm just going to start braiding right here and see what happens. Kind of the result's the same. It starts scuffing. The paint's still there, but it's got scuff marks. And so now I'm going to try pressure and see what happens. Okay, you know, I can't tell that there's much of a difference, so I'm going to say that I can go ahead and reheat a pre-existing powder-coated painted frame without seriously adversing the base layer. So I should be able to do a localized powder coat on the top tube and head tube and soak the whole thing in the oven, and should be okay. Should be, right? Okay, well, let's find out, because that's what I'm going to do. Okay, now that I have everything all removed from the frame and kind of cleaned up a bit, I wanted to try something different, because when I try to remove the paint with sandpaper or a brush, it takes forever and it's a lot of work. And I was just thinking, I wonder if I can burn this off. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a test and see if it burns off and cleans up better. So the frame is all cleaned and ready to be painted, but I need to do some masking for the logo of the manufacturer, which is Barrel Frame Designs, B.F.D. And so I created a couple stencils on my vinyl cutter, and I am going to cut. Well, I did cut. I'm going to put these on to see, that should work. So, just. I have 3 B.F.D. stencils, and then I have a head tube badge stencil. There we go. And I'll just put that right there. I'll then trim, cut off the sheet. Ooh, that's sticky. Let's see. Let's use the X-Acto instead. There we go. And now I'll just trim those out a little better. Okay, and then now I got the down tube, or see. Okay, I'm going to put the head tube badge marker on. Okay, that went on fairly well. Tube B.F.D. to put on, and then we can powder coat. There we go. I just didn't want it peeling up on me when it gets hot. And so now we're ready to powder coat. Alright, so now I need to transfer it through the oven. So this is the product after it came out of the oven. I apologize for not having the video of that part. I failed to move it, so I don't have it going actually into the oven and actually coming out of the oven. The overall outcome looks pretty good. The masked areas, as you can see, is just raw material. And I've always wondered how that would turn out with just a clear coat over it. So I told the guy to watch that area and let me know if there's any rusting that may appear underneath of it. I know in the old days, the clear coat didn't protect for rust. So we'll see what happens this time. And as for a separate video on how to do a powder coat overall, I think I might do that. And let me know if you're interested in how I actually make a powder coat oven. I might be in the mood for making a new one, a little bigger, a little better. All right. So until next time, you guys all take care, and I'll see you later.